Hello, this is John, host of MGTOW is Freedom. I want to thank all of you guys, all of you, for watching this channel, for sharing your ideas, for subscribing, for making MGTOW what it is. You know, it's really been a movement that I've watched grow, and I'm just a teeny little part of it. But, you know, I like to think that I'm contributing the same as I like to think and believe that everyone here is contributing. And it is growing. But, you know, it's the ideas about men, what we need, what life is about, that makes this movement or this philosophy happen. And there's no real one way that MGTOW works. You know, we're all going our own way and deciding what works best. Where there's collusion amongst us is in taking an idea and developing it and then proving it out, and taking a look at the world we live in and seeing if it's really what it is that men want. And one of the ideas that occurred to me today is that Christmas used to be about celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ. And then somewhere along the line, this notion of Santa Claus and giving gifts really took off. It basically went viral before there was social media. There was this idea that everyone got sold on, and that's that you need to give presents. You know, that Christmas was about Santa Claus, and it got really commercialized. People were sold on the idea that that's how it worked, and so they started behaving that way. I started thinking, now, is there an application on that for MGTOW? You know, well, one of the things that I see is that, well, there's definitely a reason for MGTOW. But what was the trick? What were men sold on that tore us away from the way it was? Fucked the whole world up and then caused something like MGTOW to have to be created to solve the problem. What men got sold on was the idea, the notion that we need women. Now, having friends as a man is fantastic. You get everything you want from your guy friends, except a domestic servant, a sex toy, and someone to make babies for you. But we were sold on some idea. Something got in men's heads. Now, I do know that when prostitution was made into a bad thing, in order to get sex, men had to start marrying women. I don't think it was an instantaneous event that occurred there, though. I think there was a good deal of commercialization, of selling that happened. And what I mean by that is men started hearing things. They were shamed into things, right? But let's just look at the nice sales side. So let's just say a family or women noticed a man and he was single, a family member, he's single. So what they would tell him is how unhappy he was. Right? They would say, oh geez, you're not married. That's terrible. You need a woman to put your life together. You need a woman so that you can share things with. You need a woman because XYZ, men were told that they needed that. You have to have a woman to find happiness. Yeah, you're doing good now, but imagine how well you'll be doing when you have a woman. And that was sold to us. It was sold to me as I grew up. You know, what do you need? You need a woman to marry. You need a woman for happiness. Essentially, everything in your life, you know, we should strive for happiness, for success. And we as men were told that a woman will bring happiness. You know, and it used to be that women would do things for you. She'll cook, she'll clean, she'll give you sex, right? She'll be good for your social standing. All of those positive attributes, right? And then it just boil it right down to happiness. But what did we really get for our efforts through this process that saw the concept, the birth, the expansion, and then the domination of our world, of feminism? right? Gynocentrism. What did we really get for it? Happiness? Completeness? I look at my life. I'm told I need a woman in order to be happy. But when you get a woman, what do you get? What do you really get for that woman? Do you get peace in your life and harmony? After 6 months in a relationship, look at the peace level you have. No, you don't. You don't get peace. Do you get harmony? Right? Those two words go together. Peace and harmony. No, your life is not harmonious, because with a feminist in your life, a feminist woman, you've got competition all the time, because she's the same as a man. She's just as good as a man. She's just as smart as a man. Her opinion really matters and counts, and she needs to be given the most consideration. You are never in a harmonious state in a relationship with a woman. Now, there can be times of harmony. She can be somewhat submissive, but is it more or less harmonious with someone else in your life, in your house, in your face? I say it is less. If getting a woman is supposed to bring you satisfaction, why is the divorce rate so high? Why is the marriage rate so low? People don't want to get married. Why? Because they don't have peace and they don't have harmony. For those that do get married, why is the divorce rate so high? Because there is not harmony, there is not peace in the marriage. Why? And you might ask, why not? What has happened? What has changed? Apart from just saying, well, the introduction and domination of feminism, right? And gynocentrism, women wanting to be the center of all things. We can examine it based on what we were told we as men would get out of marriage. We were told that your house, right, will be in order. We were sold that bill of goods, that you need a woman in order to be complete. Right? Why do you need that? What is this idea of completeness that comes? Well, I think it's all a big sales pitch, is what I think. It's a giant sales pitch. And it was designed to get men to continue to marry women, even though women became less and less attractive. The idea of having a wife becomes less and less attractive over time. So this sales job, this con job, has been continuing to take place. And it's not finding root, right? It's not taking hold in men anymore. And so that's when we started seeing outright shaming, right, by older women of younger men. You need to get married, You need to step up and be a man, right? As if that's the measurement. And I think because of that, men have taken big notice on this expectation that we have to do what others say in order to feel like we're accepted, like we're good enough, like we're doing a good job, right? I believe that men used to look around at others and see what they had and go, yeah, I want to be like that. And they would measure themselves against others in a way that made them want to step up and get married and work hard and all those things. Now there's no incentive for it, because men look at other married men and go, no fucking way, not gonna do it, right? There is no reward there waiting for me. But that is what we were sold on. You'll get peace and harmony, you'll be complete, and you need that. In order to be a real man, you need a woman, right? It went from just this is the way it was, to being sold on it, then being shamed about not being married, and then guilted, and now they're coming right down to demanding it, right? Now they don't just shame you, they call you names and attack you. They want you to give them what they want, which is your money and your time and your life. And they just come right out and they're vicious and they put you down. They say things like, man up, right? As if you're not a man. It's funny how women are almost becoming like roadside bandits. As you walk by them, you have to look over your shoulder to make sure they're not coming after you and attacking you. They don't just want to have a relationship. They want to know what kind of car you drive, how much money you make, what is your job title and your ambition, what's your education level. They're almost like criminals that want to know all about you before they move in for the attack, because they want to make sure, and this is really important, this is key, they want to make sure you're worth spending their time on to victimize you. You want peace and harmony in your life? Is it going to come through pairing yourself with somebody who has no interest in your long-term or short-term benefit? The answer is no. Women are not going to understand that. And if they do, they're not going to change themselves because they're ruined. They're spoiled. They've been given everything they want. They get as much cock as they want. They've been spoiled by their parents and spoiled by other boyfriends, spoiled by their first husband. They're spoiled definitely by the government, which gives them entitlements, and by the courts that through divorces they've learned that they can take from men. They can continue to take. That is the gift that keeps on giving. So it's really key. Do you need a woman to be happy? Right? How does a woman make you happy? Sex? Yeah, okay. Can you live without that? Yes, you can. Can you get it without having to give up half of your shit? Without giving up your mental health, right? Your personal satisfaction, right? Because we're told you need to have a woman to have peace and harmony. You need to have a woman to have happiness. But the opposite is true. Now today, when men get women, you have less peace, you have less harmony, and you actually have less happiness. The longer you're with the same woman, the less happy you are, because of how she starts to dominate your life and control it, take over your house and get rid of your friends, right? And push you into debt by demanding cars and houses and material goods. So it's the opposite. When you get a woman now, you are less happy. You have less satisfaction in life. You become less successful because rather than working in a cash positive environment, you work yourself into debt. The expensive car, the expensive house, the expensive vacations, and the expensive children. Now, if you want children, that's one thing, and I understand it. I have 2 sons of my own. But if you don't want children, or you don't want 10 children, right? Women want children because they get you and they've got you. Now you're locked into them and they've got you for child support and spousal support in a divorce. So you know you're had. Now you're their property. Now you're the woman's possession. You're her husband, not she's your wife. You know, who's the boss? Who wears the pants? Well, I say, I have the penis. That makes me the man. I'm the breadwinner. I am more valuable. I'm the prize. And gold-digging whores, feminist whores, you don't get me. Game over. I am in charge of my peace, my harmony, my happiness, and my personal satisfaction. And I get to decide as the man, as the MGTOW man, I get to decide what makes me happy. I don't listen to the shaming or the guilt. And this is the freedom that comes with being MGTOW. Because MGTOW is freedom. You get to decide. And you don't have to listen to anybody else tell you that you must be miserable and you must be sad because you don't have a woman in your life. When it's actually the exact opposite. When you don't have a nagging feminist bitch in your life, you're more happy. All right, this is John, host of MGTOW is Freedom, saying have a great night, great day. Pick those pizzas up, amigo.
All right, Jim on the other side.
Oh, okay. 1 second. All right, one last thing. Hit subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and please, thumbs up. Thumbs up this video and all MGTOW videos, and I'm going to do a video about going viral with the movement. Also, click share. Share this video and other MGTOW videos with men you know so that they learn what the game is and they can make intelligent, informed decisions. Intelligent, informed decisions. Isn't that amazing? And if you haven't and you've subscribed, there's a little bell right next to the subscribe button, and that'll send you notifications when new videos come out. All right, so you guys take care, and remember, you're the man, right? I'm the man. I have the penis. Semper Fi.